is YouTube feeling boring to you? Because it is to me. Honestly, I don't know what to make of it anymore. And to be honest, when it comes to figuring out certain theories on YouTube, there's only one person that we can really turn to, and that is Matt Pat from Game Theory.
Let's talk about that. Wait, can we say that or will they to us?
Oh, God. Is it me, or does this all feel kind of samey? You know?
I'm pretty bored. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it feels like YouTube is just constantly stuck in this ever-present loop of bullshit. And there's nothing that ever changes for the better. It seems that it's only getting worse and worse, and that you have to, and that in order to at least be recognized on the platform, you have to resort to the same samey bullshit that everyone else is doing.
I mean, even then it's not guaranteed.
Oh, well, no, even then it's not guaranteed, but
I don't know about everybody else, but is it just me that most of the videos I'm watching throughout my week are from people who don't have like millions of subscribers? Not counting what we're reacting to here. Because what we react to here a lot of the times is way bigger YouTubers.
man, this is requested too. Both of these are requests.
Yeah, the Game Theorists 18 million. But I mean, I guess all of the requesting videos from millions of subscriber YouTubers, I must be in the minority. Because, like, I've been into video game essays lately. I've been listening to this dude with 14.9 thousand subscribers tonight explain a Doom mod. And earlier today I was listening to the Rasputin, who deserves a lot more but only has 786,000 subscribers. So, I don't know. Like, the stuff YouTube pushes is not what I'm watching.
Well,
But I might just be the weirdo in the group of everybody, I don't know.
No, I don't think that makes you the weirdo. I just think that means that you're finding your tastes now that you're getting older. Like me, I have certain things that when I was younger I wasn't into at all. Now that I am older, now that I'm 35, there are things I'm like, I wonder what that's about. And then I click on it and I find out, damn, I actually like this a lot. What else have they put out? And
well, I've kind of always been that way with music, to where I didn't just latch on to whatever I heard on the radio. Like, I went and sought out stuff that I thought sounded particularly good to me. And that's how I ended up pretty much listening to bands that I would talk to people about, and they'd be like, never heard of them, you know? It's not like I was one of those people that's like, I'm cool because I listen to underground music. I'm just like, I just put forth extra effort to find stuff that doesn't ever seem to be pushed by anything, you know? And
yeah.
That's usually the stuff I end up liking the most.
Well, it's like, what's his name? Patrick Carney from the Black Keys. He said that for him, he enjoys going on these indie radio stations wherever they're in a new town. He like finds the local radio stations that plays local bands and music and stuff like that, and he deliberately goes out of his way to
hear stuff you've never heard before that way.
Exactly. And he says, now if I want top 40, then I'll tune into top 40 radio. I can tune into that on Spotify or any of the other streaming apps out there. But it seems as though a lot of the indie stuff that interests me isn't being pushed on these major platforms, because I hear these bands like he was talking. I was in France, and I was hearing this band on the radio in France, and I was saying to myself, I wonder where this band is from. I wonder if they're, French or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, he finds out, oh no, they're American. And turns out their music is being pushed more in Europe than it is in the United States. And he was asking why, and he said, dude, this happens all the time. I mean, look at during the 1940s and 50s, whenever artists who couldn't get over in the United States all of a sudden came overseas and were adored because it was a new sound. It was something that was not heard before. Like Nina Simone and just like a lot of the jazz artists from the 40s and 50s who were just like stuck in the dregs of playing in clubs and getting shit pay. Then all of a sudden they go over to Europe and dear God, are they adored and loved and just like embraced by the greater populace over in Europe, because it's just like it's a different sound. It's nothing. It's not the same shit. I mean, like there's nothing like it. Patrick also attributed to like a Pavlovian thing. It's like the monkey that hears like their favorite sound and they actually start salivating. It's a weird thing that happens. It's like their brain has been conditioned into liking the same shit. It's like the 4 chords of doom. Like how many pop songs are written in the 4 chords of doom? Too damn many to name. And yet, still more and more are written like that every single day, and nobody gives a shit. But now YouTube's starting to feel that way too. I start seeing the same thumbnails all over the place, especially on SS Sniper Wolf videos. It's literally the same 3 thumbnails with the same 3 stupid faces. But enough dunking on Sniper Wolf and enough talking about the monotony of everyday life. Let's watch some game theory. Here we go.
Oh, I've done it. I've created the ultimate online video. I watched every YouTube video, but because I thought that Mr. Beast would do that very thing, I decided to do him one better. I watched every YouTube video and counted every pixel on every frame of every video. And guess what? I still thought that Jimmy might do that, so I decided to do him one better. I did it all in 24 hours, and I'll give away $100,000 to every viewer of that video. I've done it. I've done it. It's unbreakable. It's unbeatable. No one can ever outdo me. I've outbeasted the beast. Hello, Internet.
What you just described does not sound even remotely possible.
No.
Not unless he is an AI.
Yeah. But basically he's able to split his consciousness into infinite separate ones and then recombine them all like Naruto did with his training when he was learning to do the wind shuriken, the Rasen shuriken. He cloned himself over and over again to try and get the perfect amount of try to learn quicker.
Welcome to Game Theory, the superlative channel for overthinking all your favorite things on the internet. Today on Matt Pat Talks About Topics I'm Thinking About Instead of a Game Theory, we're going to be talking about phases. We all go through phases, right? We wear different stuff, we watch different things, and on YouTube we make different content. For the last 3 years, YouTube has been going through what I'm calling the era of excess. And I probably don't have to explain to you exactly what I mean by that. You pretty much know it when you see it. The title has the word every in it every time. I tried every food from every state.
Yeah, Joshua, I've seen that. Yeah. I've seen that recommended so much.
I tried every impossible sport. Mythical has a format called We Tried Every, where they try every flavor of a thing. The Try Guys have Keith Eats the Menu, where he tries every item on a restaurant menu. Eric tries every drive-thru. Eddie Burback goes to every Margaritaville. Matthew Beam goes to every Disneyland, where Alpha Rad rides every ride. Drew Binsky visited all 197 countries, while Markiplier just tries every flavor of Taki. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. This is literally it. It's just... Everyone is craving these experiences, and instead of going out and doing it themselves, they're like, hey, I wonder if my favorite YouTuber's done it.
Well, because a lot of the things, if you were to go out and do it yourself, you couldn't afford to.
Yeah, you'd be broke as hell.
Yeah, we're living vicariously through other people because we can't afford to do all of that stuff ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Or we don't have, enough time to do it all ourselves. Like, you can watch one person travel to every state in America on YouTube quicker than you could personally travel to every state in America yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I can see that.
Actually just licked every flavor of Takis. It's a bit disturbing there, Mark. Even more disturbing than your trailer for Iron Lung. Anyway, you see where I'm going with this. It's every trend that you see everywhere on the platform. Not to be overlooked, though, this phase also includes what I call the nice round number syndrome, which contains a big old number
even
with
Mark,
a dollar.
like, I love Mark. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. The amount of times I actually watch Mark nowadays, though, compared to how I used to,
Not as much.
not as much. And it's nothing against him, nothing against his content. It's just you burn out on even a person, like, in terms of their entertainment, like, after a while, And I was like, it's still like I literally watched him play Don't Scream earlier today, and it was really funny.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't tune into his videos nearly as frequently as I used to because, A, it's like I watched a ton of them back in the day. And so, like, watching a ton of them again just feels, like, excessive at this point. And B, I have a lot of other people I watch now, too, so my attention's kind of divided out wider than it used to be as well when I started watching YouTube and stuff.
Can you bring the mic a little bit closer to you, man? I think we're...
Yeah, maybe it's...
I guess, yeah, because I couldn't hear you as good.
It's already pretty close.
I guess angle it up.
Hello?
There we go. Oh,
It's not gonna sit still, though. Hello?
there we go.
Does this work?
I think it's a lot better.
Okay.
Sign in front, and the numbers just keep getting bigger. While Mr. Beast has certainly been the one mainstreaming this recently, nice round numbers, they've been making titles and thumbnails more clickable since 2012, when top 10s and top 5 lists dominated the entire YouTube ecosystem. And once you know it, but clickable numbers become even more clickable once they're associated with money, leading to all your favorite giveaway and comparison videos. The numbers evolved from top 10s to top 100s to $100, and then we started adding zeros from there. Many, many zeros. Now we have $1 stake versus $1,000 stake, $1 versus $100,000 computers, $1 houses versus $100 million houses, and of course the all-time classic, I gave a random person on the street $100,000 for the clout. I mean, obviously there's some vague reason, but we all know what the underpinning of it is, right? It's the clout. We've seen $10,000 ice cream, the world's biggest pizza, and we've watched Casey Neistat recline his way through every expensive Emirati flight on the planet. It's great. Clearly we all love it and watch it, otherwise the algorithm wouldn't serve it up to you on a silver platter, but I'm here to tell you that there's a hidden cost to these videos, and no amount of dollar signs and zeros is ever gonna do it justice. The interesting thing about excess videos is that they're not just about the superlative of something or trying something nicer than average, they're a constant, unwinnable game of escalation. We already ate the biggest burger at one restaurant, so, then we had to escalate. We had to eat the biggest burger at every restaurant, but once you do that, where else do you go? Well, then you have to eat at every restaurant that ever serves a burger.
And that's when you will literally die of a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
So, I actually had an idea a long time ago, but I was never able to fully follow through with it because of just things not coming together when I hoped. Back when Rick and Morty Season 3 dropped, and everyone was on a high mark about the Szechuan sauce, I remember McDonald's brought it back for a limited time. I had like 10 packs of it, and I wanted to take it, go to different restaurants and buy different chicken nuggets from different restaurants and try it with the Szechuan sauce to see which one tasted best. So, go to Burger King, get their nuggets, or go to Wendy's, get their nuggets, go to DQ, get some chicken, go to Carl's Jr. or Hardee's, as we have it here, and get some, get some chicken tenders from there. Go to KFC, get some popcorn chicken. Back when they actually had popcorn chicken. Still haven't forgiven you for that, KFC. Taking probably my favorite thing off the frickin' menu.
Every restaurant ever almost does that to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It was selling gangbusters. Why get rid of it? Why? Makes no sense.
You get the idea. I'm sure if I asked you why we like this sort of content so much, there are some easy answers that come to mind. It's satisfying. You get to see things that are too expensive to buy for yourself. Maybe it's funny to see people try crazy stuff. All of that is very true, but there's also a lot more boiling under the surface of our excess addiction on YouTube. Understanding the psychology of why you're watching these videos might make you think twice about when to click on them and when to keep scrolling. Today we're talking about where this era of excess comes from, where it's going, and why you should know for your own mental health. It's probably no surprise to you that watching content on the internet, any content, even this sort of content, is doing all sorts of things to your brain. In a nutshell, consuming content online when you're scrolling on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, or Instagram activates neuronal pathways in your brain that are commonly known as reward pathways. You scroll and ooh, a new thing to see. Scroll again and ooh, another new thing to see. Forever and ever, endlessly to the end of time.
It's an endless dopamine release. Well, not endless because...
You're endless.
Yeah. Your dopamine eventually does peter out, and it does recharge whenever you sleep. But constant dopamine rushes like that basically give you the sense of instant gratification, and that's what you're used to. You're used to the instant gratification of that, and thus things in real life that actually take time to do and produce and all that seem boring, and they seem time wasting, and there's wow, I could be enjoying myself so much more if I could just scroll endlessly on this website. And it's just here, us doing a reaction and stuff like that. This is us committing our time to reacting to this, and thus us expecting a time commitment for you to watch us react to it's a big time sink, but at the same time, we try to add as much as we can to it to make it stand out from just another rehash or rewatch of this content.
Well, that's why personally, when I'm watching stuff on my own time, I feel the most fulfilled by it when I try to learn things while I watch stuff.
Yes.
So I try to watch educational things. I watch people who have insight into things that I like, that know more about it than I do, that'll tell me things about it. I watch things about things I've never known about, but kind of would like to know about. Like, for example, Kyle Hill's stuff about, how, all things nuclear power and radiation work and stuff like that, Because, that's always been a thing. I knew radiation was dangerous. It was kind of scary. I didn't know really anything about it. And even what I learned in science classes, I'm I still don't 100% understand, what it does to you, how it makes power. And through watching Kyle Hill's stuff, I have a way bigger understanding of it. I went to school for at least a class or two on it at this point.
Yeah.
But anyways.
It's all about conveyance.
I will do days sometimes, I did one the other day, where I woke up, my initial plan was I think I have I think it was my day off. And I was I'm going to play video games today, because that's what I like to do with my day off usually. But instead I scrolled on my phone for most of that day. And I really fucking regretted it, because it was only shorts and shit. And I was I can't believe I wasted so much time on something that did nothing for me in the end. You know what I mean?
No, and I get that. And for me, those dopamine rushes fool you into thinking you're accomplishing something. And it happens way too often.
But you can try to rationalize it as time you enjoy wasting is not time wasted.
But it kind of is. I'm sorry, but...
Depends on what it is.
Because if it's your day off... And, there's nothing for you to do, and, you just want to have a day of just endless dopamine rush, then go for it. It's like my dad and my stepmom when they got those dopamine rushes playing Candy Crush. And I'm just sitting here, and I'm Candy Crush is just, it's a time sink. That's all it is. You don't accomplish anything. There's no true reward for winning Candy Crush.
Mm-hmm. There's just screens that block you off that be if you want to play more today, give us money.
Yeah. Versus something
At least if I play through a story of a video game, I now have that story.
It's
an experience that I have
It's
experienced.
like you playing Bloodborne the other day. You play Bloodborne because you enjoy it.
And because
you
it was
enjoy the
Halloween,
combat.
and I was I just want to do something that, in my opinion, feels Halloween-y to me, and that was what felt right. So.
And that's more than fair.
But on my day off, when I scrolled through basically the equivalent of TikTok. It was like my YouTube reels and stuff. Afterwards, I was like, man, I should have played a video game or something instead, at least.
Yeah.
But then I did that with my friends the other day. I showed them some of my YouTube shorts. They were watching with me on stream. We were laughing about it. That was fun because I was hanging out with people.
Yes.
This is actually fun because I'm hanging out with people.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a lot of people say when they watch us, it makes them feel like they're hanging out with people. So
hey,
hopefully we can make you feel like you're not wasting your time by watching us.
Exactly.
Maybe we can teach you one or two things eventually, and you'll feel like it wasn't a complete waste to sit here and watch us two guys talking about other YouTubers and stuff.
Yeah, hopefully.
Each time your brain gets a little happy response to seeing something novel, something funny, something beautiful or interesting, all the things that we try to make our content look like online. These happy feelings come from your brain's dopamine reward pathway, and they're the same ones that get activated when someone hands you an ice cream sundae, or the feeling that you get when you beat a level in a video
something
game.
beautiful, you know? It's like, there is this little meter in my brain. Every time I see a really hot lady when I'm scrolling through stuff, I'm just like, I should start working out. I should start working out. I should start working out. Eventually, I don't know where the limit is, but eventually that's going to fill up, and I'm going to fucking start working out.
Well, once we get the home gym finished out there and you can start, like, doing DDR for, like, your cardio, I think that'll do a lot for you in terms of, like, your physical, like, willingness to do stuff.
They got a huge boost when I saw a Baldur's Gate post the other day where there was a lot of ladies in the comments that I thought were attractive that were talking about how attractive Halson is because he's a beefy man.
Yeah.
And I was just like, if only I could have ladies talk that way about me, I would be so flattered. You know what I mean? But I have to work out if I want to be like that, you know?
If only. And me, I'm a beefy dude, but at the same time, I've heard women talk about beefy guys, but I think they're referring to dudes like Joey Swole.
Yeah, Halson is more like Joey Swole. Like,
exactly.
He looks like he lifts.
Yeah. And whilst I am capable of lifting quite a bit, actually,
But he looks like he lifts on a daily basis. Almost.
Yeah. The dude looks like he's chiseled out of marble.
Yeah. He's a very Greek sculpture-looking dude, you know?
Yeah.
Years ago, we actually did a video on this channel all about the addictive qualities of games like Candy Crush, which is just as relevant today for social media as it was back then for mobile gaming addiction. In case you haven't seen it, I'm going to summarize it quickly. When it comes to consuming content, unfortunately, we're going in with the deck stacked against us, starting with the literal brain inside our own heads. Biologically, our brains have been wired from the beginning to find rewarding experiences in life and then double down on those rewards because a few thousand ancestors ago, that was what was able to keep us alive. Now, that reward-seeking behavior we all have baked into our neurons gets translated to a key weakness that can be exploited by everyone from game developers to marketing companies, and especially by social video platforms. Watching funny TikToks, satisfying aesthetic videos on Instagram, and clever YouTube shorts, they're all microdosing dopamine into your brain all day long until you're suddenly feeling compelled to keep scrolling just to try and feel okay. There's been a lot of research done in this area, and even if literally none of us are following the advice of limit your screen time, we at least know, yeah, we probably should be doing that. But no, really, yeah, we probably should be doing that. The TLDR of all...
Okay, that unlocked something, too, that I just realized. At the end of that day, whenever I was scrolling through all that stuff, I sat down, finally, to play a video game, and then I couldn't decide what to play. You know why? Because I felt depressed. And that's what's... Like, when he said just to feel okay, I was like, that makes sense. Like,
yes.
I'd used up all the dopamine firing, and at that point, I actually was depressed for the rest of that day, pretty much.
And
it's like doing this too much actually can just have a negative effect on your mental health because you use up everything you got in terms of feeling good and okay for the day, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, makes sense.
It does. And that's a real thing because... Your body can recover from that. Your mind can recover from an overstimuli on dopamine. It just takes a while for your brain to rewire itself into feeling all right again. But you have to deprive yourself. Like, it's okay
you have to take a break from it.
Yeah, it's okay to dip your toes in and give yourself like that energetic rush of it. But then, go through the day and commit yourself to accomplishing things within your own life instead of just depending on the dopamine rush from YouTube or from TikTok to get you through the day. That, like, for instance, these projects that I'm trying to do on the side, you know, the music project, the film projects, stuff like that. If I wanted to, I could just scan YouTube all day and just be like, all right, I'm good with that. But instead, I actually want to do something different. I want to do something that I feel accomplished about.
Fulfilling things.
Yes, exactly.
And just a small disclaimer, I'm not saying that if you're depressed, then maybe that's why, is because you scroll through TikTok and shit too much. I'm just saying that is personally, I think, what made me feel shitty the other day. I realize depression can be a thing whether you're scrolling through TikTok or not.
Oh, exactly, yes.
But yeah.
All this is that the For You page is giving your brain exactly what it wants, which isn't always a good thing. The thing is, friendos, well, it's easy for all of us to collectively point to short-form video as the thing that's getting us hooked on all these platforms, the things that are shamelessly riding those dopamine waves. They're not the only ones that are giving us that little boost to happy. The era of excess on YouTube has given us the exact same action on these same reward pathways, even with long-form videos. It's doing this in two main ways. First, the structure of the video usually sets you up for lots of little micro doses
Actually,
of
just
dopamine rewards.
recognized one of those thumbnails as he went through there.
Structure pathways.
Right there.
Which
Your
one?
Solid Master Collection is underwhelming. That one got recommended to me.
Yeah.
Even with long-form videos. It's doing this in two main ways. First, the structure of the video usually sets you up for lots of little micro doses of dopamine rewards all the way throughout the video, starting with the opening seconds. Let's just take a classic example from Good Mythical Morning. I tried every flavor of Lay's chips, where they have the setup of these videos down to a science. Probably why it's a whole series over on GMM. They start right off the bat by teasing what's in the video. This hooks you in the first few seconds in the exact same way that a TikTok does.
27 flavors of Lay's, but only one can be the best. Let's talk about that.
This is the exact same tactic that Mr. Beast uses in every one of his $1 versus $1 million videos.
I just bought a car that cost $10 million, but first we're gonna look at one that cost me $1. Let's go.
Yeah.
Every video. Like,
Yeah.
it's the intro hype.
It's a real thing, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess now it's $100 million videos.
This is a $100 million mega mansion.
And this isn't me trying to single out any
Well,
creators.
and the
or
reason
point
I still
fingers.
like Mr. Beast is because even when I'm doing that impression, I'm over-exaggerating that.
Yes.
He's actually really chill. Like, this is a $100 mega mansion. Like, that's why I like him, because he's not fucking obnoxious like a lot of the people who do these kind of intros are.
Oh gosh, what's that one?
He's not screaming at you.
Hold on. I forget the guy's name, but there's a guy does the most. Let's see. I call. NNA, yeah. NNA Productions. Calling Cars 3. Oh my god, he actually answered.
What?
Yes. NNA Productions is easily one of the worst YouTube channels on the platform. I want you to look at this. Calling Sonic. OMG, he actually... Calling the Boss Baby's brother. Do not call the Joker from Suicide Squad movie.
Basically, he's clickbaiting kids that are too young to understand that characters don't exist.
Yes.
That are probably too young to even be on the platform.
Oh, and then of course, NNA actually did one that... Ooh. This one irked me to no end.
That's the one. Yeah, that's why I heard about it. I don't fucking like
Yeah.
that guy. Yeah.
Calls Etika at 3 a.m.
Yeah, no.
And he basically was just like, one like equals one prayer for Etika. And like, this dude monetized that video until he eventually took it down. But that is ridiculous, dude. That is ridiculous that he would do that shit.
Yeah.
Like, that is soul crushing. I got nothing else to say about NNA
Yeah,
Productions.
whenever you pulled him up, I was like, this guy. I don't like this guy for some reason. What was it? And as soon as you said that, I was like, that's why. I lost all respect for that dude.
It's just
I
like
heard
Jay
about
Station when he tried to like 3 a.m. call his dead girlfriend.
that. Yeah, like
Jesus.
Fucking weird and fucked up, guys.
Yeah, it is.
It's just a tactic used by everyone who's successful on the platform right now. Josh Weissman.
Today we're going to be ranking and tasting every major fast food burger in America.
Airrack.
You're looking at a collection of all the fastest man-made vehicles in history.
Hopescope.
I bought every Barbie dream house ever.
Mr. Who is the Boss.
I've just bought every single Xbox console ever.
Basically, every major creator on the platform is zeroed in on this strategy as a psychological tactic to get your attention on YouTube.
Actually, I wonder if that'll work for this video. Hold on a second. Let me... Post-production, Nate, please include this clip at the beginning of the video just as an experiment. Here we go.
But that's not enough. After those catchy opening seconds, you break the video up into manageable chunks that are, oh, I don't know, somewhere around 60 to 90 seconds each. About the exact
Definitely
same as
don't do that
so
either.
people feel like
No,
they're
we
getting
don't.
a reward for every minute that they stay tuned into the video. Take a look at that same GMM video to see what I mean. 45 seconds to 1 minute and 15 seconds goes by, they switch to a new flavor of chip, giving you just long enough for a satisfying crunch, some color commentary, a couple of jokes, bam, on to the next before you got bored. In Hopescope's tour through the history of
Honestly, we could do that if we wanted to, but at the same time, I guess this is why our channel hasn't grown exponentially like other reaction channels has, because I try to just be real about this stuff. I don't try to be fake, because it's one thing I notice about a lot of these.
I mean, it's not necessarily fake to just cut out dead air.
Well, no, it's not they're cutting out dead air. It's they're deliberately gaming the system to basically not just maintain your attention, but take advantage of that quote-unquote, or the dopamine rush. Whereas what we're doing, we're trying to be a little more methodical with our approach to this. And if things, honestly, things may change here soon. I don't know. Depends on how things go.
Theory-wise, my theory's bunk, because I do it on the anime videos, and if my theory was correct, you would think our anime videos would be doing better than
Exactly.
our other reactions, but it doesn't help.
I think that's also one thing about it is...
Because the anime videos are definitely divided up into sizable chunks, and I do them like highlight reels to keep your attention, but I don't know, they still don't do as well as our regular videos.
Yeah.
of Barbie dream houses, a video that I personally loved, by the way. She switches between dream houses less than every 2 minutes. Airrack is way more intense when ranking all the fast food restaurants, going through them at a pace of 10 to 30 seconds each. Mr. Beast's favorite way to do this is by completely switching up challenges every 3 minutes or so. His classic I gave away an island to my 100 millionth subscriber video switches challenges every 1 minute and 30 seconds to 2 minutes and 45 seconds. While in his somewhat
when he
controversial...
has something that goes on longer than that, he does things in between and then goes back to that.
Yeah.
So he's not showing it all to you in one go.
Mm-hmm.
Except for, I think the recent one with dude going through the multiple challenges, like he kept it all on, focused on that dude, but he had it set up so he had multiple challenges for the one dude so he could stick with him. So
Yeah,
it
he had
kinda
up to
worked
10
out.
challenges.
Yeah.
And
that
honestly,
one was one of his most gripping videos for me so far, because just seeing the dude continually risk his money.
Yes.
Not to mention, like, how good he was at actually managing to pull off the stuff Mr. Beast was having him do. It was really cool.
And for me, it broke my heart whenever on the one challenge he failed. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, man.
I was like, you got to bring him back for another one, man.
Please do.
Or
Redemption.
hire him to work for you. He was cool.
Yes, he was. Very cool.
Curing people's blindness video, the longest any individual patient gets in front of the camera is 50 seconds. I could go on and on and on with hundreds of examples of these videos across the platform, each with tens, sometimes hundreds of millions of views, but it all boils down to this one thing. YouTube videos, my friends, have become high-polished compilations, kind of like TikTok compilations or Vine compilations before them, whether or not you or even the people making them realize it. And it works. It works real well. But wait a minute, I hear you saying, telling me I'm throwing all my fellow creators under the bus. How could I do that to all my friends? I'm just a YouTube turncoat. And hey, wait a minute, didn't this video start out using these exact same tactics? Well, let me be clear. Creators, including little old theorists over here, work to make the best content possible for viewers and fans based on the rules of the platform they're working on. You would never see a TikTok start with long, slow classical music and a black screen, right? Why? Well, because the platform doesn't serve that sort of content. People don't won't respond to slow TikToks with no visuals. That would be insane. By the same token, YouTube creators have to live within the extremely rigid boundaries of the platform and the content that's getting recommended here. Yeah, big creators have videos that work very well, and also, it's not really their fault. Creators aren't implementing TikTok tactics like this because they're trying to trick you.
Thought of something. I had an idea just now. We open all our anime videos with our Patreon intro. I'm going to start doing a highlight clip before the Patreon intro on every fucking one.
That probably would do it.
Every fucking time. Because people do that now. They do a little highlight clip at the beginning of their videos of something that was really funny. Yeah, that Patreon clip might be what's falling us flat on our anime videos right now. It can be there, but we need a highlight clip before it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I get you.
That might be.
Also, we may need to re-record that. It's just be like, just instead of me being like...
You can always update it and make it even shorter.
Well, that's what I'm probably going to do. It's instead of me going, do you like her? Do you like Uncut? Do you like this? Do you like that? Instead of just be like, hey, want to see more? Check out our Patreon. Here's the link. That's it. And
just be like, to support us further, check out our Patreon. Link in the description below.
Yeah. So, all right, though. I get what you're saying.
It's like to support us further and see more of this content. Basically, that's all we got to say.
Honestly, and that's something I could do on these videos.
But I'm gonna start taking my favorite moment, one of my favorite moments, and giving a little preview of it from each one of our anime reactions beforehand. We'll see how that goes for a couple weeks.
All right, I'll do the same on our regular YouTube videos.
Start it with the slime. I'm finishing when I go upstairs. So.
All right. Oh, there's some good ones. We've had some great reactions to that.
It because this content is what YouTube systems have told them is working. And in case it's still a secret, friends, YouTube has one goal and one goal only here in 2023, to look and feel a lot like TikTok.
Yes.
It's no coincidence that the excess phase of YouTube has happened at the same time as the rise of TikTok and the same time as YouTube launching its own TikTok killer as Shorts. A lot of large creators understand that they're not competing with each other, they're competing with the product that YouTube really needs to win, Shorts. So at this point, this is the real picture of what making content on YouTube looks like. Creators have to make videos that are as exciting as a TikTok, but long enough to feed YouTube's recommendation system lots and lots of tasty watch minutes. And in case
that's
you're
the
not aware of
thing.
what's going on
Like
behind
when I open my app nowadays,
Shorts are always
I have
like
a routine. Shorts will pop up first. So
yes.
Mine's like, I got two right now. I got Lumine Mains Be Like, and I'm probably clicking that first because I like the little funny Genshin shorts. But once I watch one or two of those, if I didn't happen to get a really good like chain of them, I'm probably clicking subscriptions next, and I'm looking for a video that like someone's released recently that I'm excited to watch. But guess what? I have to scroll past again to get to anything after that
More
first
shorts.
recommended video. There's more there, so if something catches my eye, like they're really pushing shorts.
Yes, they are.
Like, and it's really easy for anybody to get roped into those quicker than it is seeing another video. So getting on the algorithm and getting a notification sent to me, that's how I'm most likely to watch a video the day it comes out. Otherwise, I'm going to miss it the day it comes out because I'm probably going to get roped into watching shorts if I just open my app because I have time to watch a video. Other than that, you gotta like have something that came up at some point that I put on my watch later that I'm definitely gonna be playing that in the car while I'm driving at some point. But
Yeah.
I'm the weirdo that does that instead of listening to music in the car, so you know.
I'm the same way. Although my
All
stuff
the
is usually
video
like
essay.
podcast clips or stuff like that.
Mine's
whenever
all
I'm on the road.
video essay YouTubers nowadays. Like instead of listening to Spotify, like my Spotify subscription, I might as well cancel it for the moment because I just listen to video essays while I drive around.
Fair.
Mainly, I have the Spotify, so if someone else rides with me, they don't have to listen to stuff that may bore them that I find interesting, you know?
I get you. I understand that.
The curtain, these episodes take weeks or even months to create, often costing tens, if not even hundreds of thousands of dollars to produce, all while still needing to be brand safe. Young skewing, but not too young skewing. New and original while still feeling familiar enough for you to click on, and they might just make it onto someone's homepage. Then again, YouTube might just give that space to Shorts instead.
Never fall down, never fail, never show fear, never get out of line. It's too hard. It's too contradictory.
So what's left after all that? Well, Well, a lot of escalation. How do you get people's attention on YouTube now? Do something bigger, more expensive, more flashy, more dangerous, for as long as you possibly can and in as many short, discrete chunks as you can. At the end of the day, this isn't about the creators that you're watching, it's about the platform that you're watching those creators on. But there's more to this fun little escalation circus. With more complicated and over-the-top production comes the need for more help.
Is that the Digital Circus?
Huh?
Is that the tip from the Digital Circus? Did he just reference that?
One little escalation circuit.
I think so.
Hang on.
I don't... Wait, maybe not.
Damn it. No, it's not.
No, it isn't. Okay.
Just similar colors. I was like, oh, I see what he did. No, never mind. It's not.
More complicated and over-the-top production comes the need for more help. A lot more help. While videos on the platform are becoming more pigeonholed into this escalation and excess genre, they also need a lot more manpower to pull them off. Rhett and Link employ nearly 100 full-time employees. Smosh is over 30.
Damn.
Mr. Beast is at least 100, and individual creators who look like they film alone now have full-time teams of at least 10 to 15 people hunting the corners of the earth to find every impossible sport, Pop-Tarts flavor, and MacBook. The cost of these
How
enormous
badass
teams
would
lay
it
on
be for us to have a team of like 10 people? Like on top of what we have, man.
Oh, dude.
It's
It would
so
make it
hard to
so
find
much easier.
reliable people, not to mention like without blowing up.
Yeah.
We still don't really make enough to hire a staff that big, do we?
No, we don't. And that's the thing is like I want to. I wish. I wish I had people that I could count on to make videos and help us out. But it's just like no matter what I do, no matter how hard I try to find people and to accommodate their like what they want out of it and everything, it's just never enough sometimes.
Good help is hard to find, as they say.
Yes, yes, it is.
On even more pressure for every
So
episode
Quinn
to
is
be
our
an
best third employee, pretty much.
Yes, Quinn does great work. Quinn has been ahead of the curve on Full Metal Alchemist for like the last month and a half. Like way ahead of the curve. Like every time the month rolls around, dude already has the entire month's worth of Full Metal Alchemist reactions already edited. I'm like, Jesus. Like, Jesus, man. What the hell?
every episode because it has to be a banger. Instead of stories, characters, or in-depth narratives that feel risky, access videos can be executed by any team who can build a bigger set, visit more Olive Gardens, or buy more weird shoes for you to try on without running into a lot of creative risks. Right now, this is one of the only ways to effectively thread the needle. It's hard to blame people for leaning into the content that's successful, but you gotta admit, all of it feels a bit limited. There's not a lot of feeling under the surface there other than, whoa, amazing, with that little Vine boom animation to make it seem like something more exciting happened on screen. Overall, it just makes the platform as a whole feel stagnant when everything carries the same tone. And whose fault is that? The platform. With that in mind though, so far we've only talked about the ways that the era of excess is hijacking our brain and the programming schedule of your favorite creator. But what about you, as a normal viewer? Turns out that the era of excess may be having a number of other unintended consequences for fans of YouTube.
Not usually
and these
referred to as normal.
consequences aren't so easy to detox from. First, let's just talk about what's so appealing about excess content when we watch it. It's fun. It's neat to see people take things to the extreme, and for a lot of us, the era of excess is a form of escapism. Now, there's nothing
We've
wrong
literally
with a little
talked about it
escapism.
when we
People
reacted to Mr. Beast. Like, it's really cool to see this kind of stuff that we'll probably never get the chance to actually experience personally. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And while I think that maybe one day it could be possible,
it's like, what's the chances we're going to get to see all of the things that Mr. Beast has currently experienced?
not likely.
Yeah, it's pretty low percentage, like, that will ever be that loaded, you know, that we can afford to go do all that stuff.
Yeah, that's
Not
true.
to mention, like, he can only really afford to do it all because he's making a business out of it as well.
Well, yeah.
Like, if he was to just drop the money from whatever his other business was to go experience the stuff he experienced in one of those videos, but then didn't turn around and make a video out of it, he probably wouldn't be able to do it very many more times.
No, he wouldn't.
So,
Ah, well. Oh, damn it.
have been using books, TV, movies, theater, video games, all kinds of media forever to escape their humdrum lives, or in our case, a world that often feels like it's about to burn down around us. A lot of time, escapism media portrays a life that's better, more magical, or often more wealthy than our own. It idealizes tiny problems, fancy clothes, fancy cars, extravagant vacations, or enormous houses. Any of those topics sound familiar? They should. They're literally everywhere in the era of excess here on YouTube. Visit the craziest hotels, eat the $1,000 steak, try on the 20 new outfits that you could never afford, and do it in every video across YouTube. There's actually a name for this kind of
The
viewership.
really expensive food
gross,
thing has
well,
started to annoy me, though.
Same.
Because I keep seeing more and more behind the veil that none of it's actually really worth the price tag.
No, it ain't.
It's similar, in my opinion, to designer clothing, which I've hated since pretty much I was in high school. So.
Well, that's true. I will say this, though. If I ever am going to eat Wagyu, I'm going to eat it in Japan where it's cheap.
Yeah, exactly. And it's probably going to be better than anything you'll get outside of Japan.
Oh, dear Lord, yeah.
And just a lot of those foods is like, we've gold flaked the steak so we can make it cost $1,000.
Yeah.
It's just going to taste like a steak from the fucking Outback.
Yeah, and to which I say to that, fuck you, Salt Bay.
Yeah.
It is. It's called wealth prawn, and it's been around just as long as wealth itself has. If you're a boomer, your generation had Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, one of the most influential reality shows of all time before reality TV was even a thing. As the creator of the show described it, it allowed everyone to feel like someday they too could live a fancy lifestyle.
When you first conceived, did you have any idea that people would be as interested in how the other half lived?
It's almost as if the whole thing has slipped into the vernacular of the dictionary, because everybody is curious, but to an extent that we never dream. Here in America, everybody wants to be a winner. Everybody dreams of being very, very successful. And so for a moment with our show, we showcase the winners, and then we let the people dream and say, yes, we too could live like that and be like that.
Moving into the 90s and 2000s, he had shows like MTV Cribs, Real
yeah.
Housewives, and then the ultimate in wealth prawn, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. With each of those shows on their own escalating journey to show off more wealth, more extravagance, and more aspirational living than the last. But where wealth prawn used to be confined to just a couple of shows that aired a few times a week, now it's literally everywhere. Every time you log onto YouTube, there it is. A brand new video, or 3, or 7, all ready for you to consume to get that hit of dopamine. Except
yeah, I was just thinking about it. Like, I was like, sometimes I like the stuff that's not really that expensive. Like, I forget his name. Like, I put shit in a jar for a week. I'm gonna leave it there for a week or until something interesting happens. Like, yeah.
Which one?
He's the one in the middle. I tried every flavor of Warheads liquor.
Oh.
Like, I love that guy. Like, that's hilarious.
Except that's not truly what happens. When you're surrounded by wealth prawn all the time, instead of feeling inspired by the beautiful lifestyles showcased online, viewers report feeling more discouraged about their own lifestyle. Because everywhere you look, it feels like there's someone who has it better than you. Someone who can afford to explore exotic islands or buy 30 pairs of sneakers, all the while inflation continues to rise out here in the real world. Everything is getting more expensive, and you're just out here wondering if you're going to be able to afford next month's rent. But if every video you see online is in every video, it can be hard to remember that fact. And it starts to normalize the idea that we should all be living in this excessive way. And so when we can't, we start to become disappointed and dissatisfied. And because dopamine is now tied to our viewing addiction, it leads us to watch another video to try and get that hit, to try and feel normal again, to try and see what this one is going to be like. And you just wind up repeating the cycle again and again and again, ultimately making us feel worse off mentally. This is especially
That's
true
why, yet
for younger
again, it's like I
viewers.
watch them from the perspective not that I wish I could be doing this. I watch it from the perspective of I know it's unrealistic for me to want to be able to do all of this, and therefore let's watch someone else do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's more like, hey, tell me about your cool stories of your travels that I haven't got to go on, you know? And then I'll tell you about my cool experiences that I've got to do. Like, we share experiences because none of us is capable of doing all of the things.
This is true.
Where studies have shown that those who spend more time on social media, including YouTube, reported higher levels of comparison and lower self-esteem as a result. It's especially dangerous when you consider that 25% of young people reported going to platforms like TikTok to get financial advice, which can then lead them to not only feeling worse, but actually spending more on things they don't need to try and achieve that lifestyle that they're constantly being shown they should have. So what then do we do? Well, half the battle is just knowing what we're watching in the first place. When we see a video's cold open shouting at your face that you're about to see every delivery of something, you need to recognize that that video is designed to trick your brain into thinking it's getting a prize.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, it's not. It's actually a TikTok compilation designed to give you a hit of dopamine every 2 minutes or less. And seeing a bigger dollar amount in the title, that's not going to lead you to feel better about yourself or the state of your bank account. Also, it's important to recognize that even though YouTubers seem to be all footloose and fancy-free with their expensive stuff and far-flung vacations, what you're seeing isn't real. Behind those big videos are big expense checks, and all the brand deal and ad revenue that pours in is getting poured right back out to the massive teams that are making these videos happen. Behind the fun is a lot of paperwork, production calendars, and more coordination than your typical Hollywood shoot. No one is truly living the way that you see in these videos, and whatever you see on screen was meticulously curated by a team that's bigger than however big you imagine them to be. Now,
so whenever we were filming our SCP film, and we had planned everything out, we had a spreadsheet of like time frame of how much time we had to film certain parts during certain time, during the days that we had. And I'll never forget, for the life of me, I will never forget just how much planning had to go into just making sure we had everything that we needed whenever we needed it. And the fact that it wasn't just me, like I did my fair amount on trying to keep the production moving forward, but I deferred to people who had experience with that and knew what to do in order to make sure that we stayed on schedule. And, I didn't have to worry about it as much. But, yeah, and the thing is, seeing the result of it be as good as it is, I hope that everyone else likes the results of it, because I'm worried to see what people think, because this is the biggest project I've personally ever dumped so much money into, and if it doesn't work, then at least I can say I tried.
One of the crazy things to me is we finally actually know the full extent to what it takes to make something of that length,
and also
every single person we show it to is probably, if they've not actually also worked on a similar project of a similar length, not even going to think twice about how long it actually took us to get that shit done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of crazy to think about. That's going to take up however long the runtime is of their life, like, what, 12 minutes, 15 minutes?
Oh, no, it's over 20.
Oh, it's 20 minutes. So 20 minutes, and then they're going to be like, yeah, it probably took them like a couple days to make, right?
In terms of just filming alone, it was 6 days. And then everything else after that was me looking for... It was basically months and months of me looking for the right VFX artists to help us out with the right stuff. And
then those effects artists themselves have worked for days on end to get us the right stuff.
Oh, yeah. Like several of the guys that worked with us worked for over a week.
Overall, there's a pretty big crew and a pretty large amount of hours put out by that crew that have gone into this thing, so I hope everybody likes it.
I do too.
Now, I can speculate about where the platform goes from here, the future of shorts, how far you can escalate before you hit a ceiling, what YouTube should be doing as a platform, but that's all episodes for another day. For now, knowledge is power, so consider yourself armed and ready to take on the next video that you watch. Just make sure that you're playing it, and it's not playing you. But hey, that's just a theory. A Matt Pat talks about topics that I'm thinking about instead of a game theory. Thanks for watching.
Fair enough.
So really, he titled this one Game Theory, but it wasn't really a game theory.
It's more of a YouTube theory.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm still amazed that Matt has over 18 million subs. The guy is just... Jeez. I'm also looking here. His most popular videos, of course, FNAF has to be the one that's the highest up.
I can't have a theory for why you hate my theories.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who got mad at Matt Pat for certain things. Yeah, me too.
I was one of them. I've seen a couple of his videos, and I'm just like, like,
that's a stretch.
You attached like the little grabby hand thing to like 10 poles taped together to reach for that one. Like,
Some of them,
and I'm like, but there's other
yeah.
ones that he has that are fantastic, and it irked me to see the level of effort that he actually puts into some stuff, and then he has videos like Mario's really the villain. And I'm just like, no, dude. Like, even your like circumstantial evidence you presented for that one was just a reach. Like, but I don't know. It's like other things like his Dark Souls. The true, like, the character you're actually playing as is Dark Souls 3. I was like, that one was so good that I went and made the character he was talking about on a New Game Plus. Like, I had Andrew, I gave my copy of the weapons he was talking about to Andrew, so he held them, and then I made a new character, and then Andrew came over to my world and gave them to me so I could use them from the start of the game. And I, like, role-played that character because I was like, that theory was just fucking nice. Like, it may not be canon, but it's close enough that it's cool to do a playthrough of, you know?
I would say for me, some of my favorite theories of his are his older ones where he used to reach very far for them. Nowadays, he doesn't do that as much anymore. But I miss those days because I used to, like, love hearing the harebrained scheme that he would come up with to connect the dots somehow. And now that I'm older, I look back and I laugh at it, even though a lot of them are pretty freaking ridiculous.
I mean, also, a lot of the stuff we watched from MatPat, like, in recent times, like, since I've been with the channel, like, I think he's gotten better.
Yes.
Because he hasn't really pissed me off like that again.
Well,
It's been several years since I've seen a video from him that I was just like, nah, that ain't it, bro.
And you see, that's my thing with it is he never stopped learning or wanting to get better as a creator. And I think he realized, I can't really do the harebrained scheme ones where there's really no water or any kind of ground for this theory to stand on. So I'm not going to do those anymore. And instead I'm going to actually commit a shit ton of time into dedicating myself to, like, theories that I know it will be 100 that are 100% viable. Or at least
Some
like
of those
within a realm.
Harebrained theories he had may have been back when he had a way smaller crew as well.
That's the other thing too.
I think because he's gotten more people to help him research stuff, that's also vastly improved his content. Because his crew's a lot bigger for doing research and making sure that everything that he's saying holds some basis in fact, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's MatPat telling us why YouTube feels so boring. So
it makes a lot of sense.
It does.
Yeah, my advice to you guys is try to take a break on days between scrolling through TikTok or Shorts, guys. I know you may be really addicted to it if it's something that you just do as a daily part of your routine, but take one day off. See how you feel the next day. See if you don't feel a little less mentally drained the next day.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, try to find something to replace it with. Like, go out to... I know it's getting cold, but, like, if you can go out to the park if you're not in a cold region, or, like, you know, watch movies for the day rather than TikTok or something like that, you know?
Yeah, commit yourself to something that is more, like, more fulfilling.
Even slightly more fulfilling. Like, play a video game for the day. Watch, like, a movie marathon for the day. Even binge a TV show for the day.
Yeah.
Something that's slightly different from this TikTok and YouTube short formula, you know? Change it up a little.
Agreed.
Like, see if it doesn't make you feel a little less burnout on it and just crappy. And then also try to, like I say, approach the Mr. Beast things with, like, my way of looking at it. This is someone sharing their stories of crazy stuff that I'm not trying to aspire to get to that level, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just like, that's cool to know that exists. Like,
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Whenever you see somebody eating all the fast food, don't get depressed because you can't go eat all the fast food. That's better for your health that you can't, you know? Like, take it as a review, and whichever one they said was the best, now you know which one to go get when you do need a burger tomorrow. Like, there you go. Just, it's all about perspective, in my opinion, on a lot of this.
Yeah. Well.
Perspective and moderation.
100%. Well, that's going to do it. This was The Game Theorists with Game Theory, Why YouTube Feels Boring. If you want to see more from The Game Theorists, click their name in the title of the video. And if you want to see more from us, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. Y'all know the whole deal. Until next time, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
Y'all be good people. Take care.